One of the major retailers when it comes to the world of video games is of course GameStop, and everyone looks forward to their Black Friday deals because they're usually pretty good. Now of course Black Friday in 2020 is very different than years past because of things like COVID, but it seems like GameStop will be doing somewhat of a traditional Black Friday sale, and there's some really good deals in here. So I of course wanted to highlight the Nintendo Switch deals because, well, you guys seem to really enjoy them when I do it every year, so we are going to be doing it this year. Now of course closer to Black Friday I will be telling you guys the best deals available from all major retailers, but GameStop's flyer did go out late yesterday, so I wanted to highlight some games on here and tell you guys what sort of things you should be looking out for, because there's honestly some really good deals here. Now GameStop will be opening up their stores on 7 a.m. on the 27th, which is Friday, of course taking place after Thanksgiving on Thursday, and the online shenanigans actually start on Wednesday night, the 25th at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So you will have a chance to get some of this stuff. I'm obviously going to try to get the stuff online because I hate Black Friday shopping at any point of the year. I think it's terrible. Get away from me. I'm going to be like shanking people if I'm out there. But yeah, so the online stuff is definitely what I'm looking forward to, and all of these deals will be represented online. Now, of course, the standard Nintendo Switch bundle that we talked about yesterday on the channel, or depending when you're watching this, on Monday the 9th, consisting of a Nintendo Switch, a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe digital copy, and 3 months of Nintendo Switch Online will be available at GameStop for $299.99. If you have not picked up a Nintendo Switch yet, I definitely think it's worth waiting for at this point in time because you're getting a really great value with that bundle. And of course, all of the first party games that we talked about in the previous videos, such as Luigi's Mansion 3 and Link's Awakening, are going to be $39.99. If you want the full list of games that are going to be available for the Nintendo Switch that are first party titles, that will be $39.99. Make sure you check out the video from the other day so that way you are up to date. Now, as far as GameStop exclusive deals are concerned, there's actually some pretty interesting stuff in this list. I think one thing that really caught my eye was the new Bakugan game, which just came out, will be available for $29.99. Now, Bakugan is a game that I'm not going to play, but I hear it's decent. You know, if you're looking for a Pokemon style game and you've already finished the DLC and you've moved on from that, I think this might be a decent pickup at just $29.99. Obviously, you have these large hulking creatures instead of Pokemon that look sort of like dinosaurs, but they're not actual dinosaurs, so I can't really get into it all that much, but I do think it looks pretty decent, and at $29.99 it might be worth checking out. The physical edition of Streets of Rage 4 is available for $29.99. Now this game is absolutely fantastic. If you've played any of the Streets of Rage games and enjoyed them, you're really going to enjoy Streets of Rage 4. There's tons of callbacks to the original trilogy of games, just great artwork, great movement, great combat in the game as well. There's a ton of stuff to do in it after you finish the main story of the game, tons of unlockables as well, so definitely a game I recommend checking out at $29.99. Now the next game might be a bit controversial, but it is The Outer Worlds, which will also be available for $29.99. Now yes, if you have a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One, I definitely recommend playing the game on one of those systems because it does run better, but the Nintendo Switch version of the game did get a patch recently, and I have actually messed around with the patch a little bit, and it doesn't fix all of the problems of the game or anything like that, but I definitely think it's a step in the right direction, and it definitely makes the game, as far as visuals are concerned, much better, I feel. You know, there's still a lot of low resolution textures, and there's still some frame rate issues from time to time, but I think it's definitely a step in the right direction, and it makes the game much more playable. Now, I completed the game on the Nintendo Switch in about 28 to 30 hours without the patch on it, so it's definitely a playable experience. If you like Fallout style games, it definitely is a throwback to that style of Fallout gameplay, but I think at $30 with the patch into consideration, it would be worth checking out if you are only a Nintendo Switch owner. But like I said, if you got a PS4 or an Xbox One, you'll probably want to check it out on that. Burnout Paradise Remastered will be available for $29.99, and that is a very sweet price point for this game. I think that that's what this game should have released at on the Nintendo Switch, maybe even $40. Of course, this game initially came out, it was $50, and Burnout Paradise Remastered originally was $40 on the PS4 and the Xbox One. Gotta love that Switch tax that EA likes to do, but I think at $30, that's definitely a very attractive price point for this game. Catherine Full Body is available for $24.99, and I think that's a price point that I will bite at this game at. You know, it's definitely very weird and sort of quirky, like a weird dating simulator slash puzzle game, but the people really seem to love it, and I think the story is something that I would enjoy because, well, the guy seems kind of like a sleazebag, kind of like me when it comes to dating, so I think that would be sort of an interesting dichotomy of how the story plays out. And you know, at $24.99, it's something I'm going to be picking up, along with this next game at $24.99, Trials of Mana. Now, I played the Trials of Mana demo. I actually really enjoyed it. I enjoy action RPGs a lot more than turn-based RPGs. Just as time has gone on, I've sort of moved over to the action RPG stuff, but I never got around to picking up this game. And I think at $24.99, that is a very attractive price point for this game and something that I will be picking up personally. BioShock Collection and XCOM 2, which of course released earlier this year from 2K Games, will be available for $19.99 a piece. Now, I played and reviewed the BioShock Collection on the Nintendo Switch. Fantastic ports of these games. They look great in handheld mode, they look great in docked mode, they run super smooth, and all three of these games are really good games. Of course, you do have to download quite a bit of stuff, so keep that in mind when you are picking up this game. You'll want to have a lot of room on an SD card because you essentially have to download most of the game. What's on the card itself, the cartridge, isn't really a whole lot, but I think at $19.99 for the BioShock Collection, if you haven't picked it up yet, you definitely need to. And XCOM 2, I have not played XCOM 2, and I've been kind of waiting for the Nintendo Switch version to get around to that $20 price point. So I will be picking up XCOM 2 out of this list from GameStop. Hopefully they have an ample supply with their online stuff. I've heard pretty decent things about this version of the game, and I think at $20, it's definitely something worth checking out. And the final $20 game that I wanted to highlight is WWE Battlegrounds. Now, I'm not going to show anything beyond a picture because WWE is very weird about this game and will copyright claim your footage, but I actually picked up this game. I bought it at the full $40 price point. It's not a wrestling game. Like it plays like a beat 'em up, almost like a Power Stone style game, but I think if you aren't looking for a wrestling game, you're looking for a more arcadey beat 'em up style Power Stone style game. It's nowhere near as good as Power Stone, don't get me wrong on that, but I do think it does have somewhat of a value, and at 20 bucks, like, I think that's a really good price for it. I paid the $40 and I didn't hate it. I thought it was very different than a lot of previous wrestling games, but I think at $20, you know, that's a pretty good bargain. Now, beyond that, GameStop will also have buy two get one free on used Nintendo Switch games as well. That will of course be taking place in store and online, but I definitely recommend doing in store when it comes to the used GameStop stuff, so that way you can see if you're getting just an actual cartridge or you're getting a complete copy of the game. I've ordered a lot of stuff online from GameStop with Nintendo Switch stuff. You know, I remember I ordered like 5 games randomly and like 2 of them were complete and the rest were just cartridges, and that kind of annoyed me. I really wish they would do their, you know, website so that you know what you're getting when you buy it. So I would definitely recommend checking that out in store. And there's actually some very decently priced PDP accessories along with some travel cases as well. You can get some PDP controllers for $15. I think PDP controllers are actually really good. Obviously, the Pro controller for the Nintendo Switch is the best way to go if you don't mind, you know, spending that big sort of moolah. But if you're just looking for something, maybe even just as a secondary controller, I think the PDP controller work very well. I have a Mario style one that I bought like 2 years ago, and I think it's very solid. And like I said, travel cases will be on sale for pretty cheap. There's some for like $7 or $8, and if you don't have a case for your Nintendo Switch, you know, you probably should. I mean, it's a $300 system. You might as well protect that $300 investment that you have. So definitely a good idea to pick that up. But I just wanted to highlight these GameStop sales because I think there's some really good stuff in here. I will be picking up, like I said, Trials of Mana, probably Catherine Full Body, and XCOM 2 because those are games that I've wanted on my Switch. I just didn't want to pay the full price of them. So let me know in the comment section down below what games you plan on picking up out of this list, and if you plan on picking up any stuff, you know, from the used game stuff, and of course different sorts of controllers and accessories. All right, so that is going to do it for today's video talking about the GameStop deals. I'm still waiting for my Xbox Series X to come in from FedEx. I thought it would be here earlier, so it kind of threw a monkey wrench in my plans, but don't worry, the Xbox Series X coverage is coming. But let me know in the comments down below what games you plan on picking up from GameStop. Any of these games tickle your fancy, or are you just gonna, you know, sit at home and not do any Black Friday stuff? Because, you know, I don't blame you in this situation. Like, I hate Black Friday too, to be honest, but the deals are good and I like cheap video games. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Check out other videos on the channel as well, and as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.